The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, has announced the suspension of its scheduled nationwide strike following the intervention of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC. Speaking after the meeting, the chairman of the IPMAN Committee on Forex Intervention, Product Sourcing and Distribution, Alhaji Musa Felande, said that the meeting also put to rest earlier grievances on issues relating to product supply, equalization fund, access to forex, and pricing of products which are of interest to IPMAN. Joining us now from our Abuja studio on issues affecting the downstream sector is Yakubu Suleiman, Public Relations Officer, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN. Good morning, Mr. Yakubu Suleiman. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, many Nigerians will be glad to hear.
Sir. Nice meeting you.
Yes, thank you. Many Nigerians will be glad to hear that the morning strike has now been suspended following a meeting yesterday between IPMAN and NNPC. Could you bring us up to speed about the details, the terms of the agreement, what was agreed upon, and really what is the way forward?
Yeah, good morning. What transpired yesterday was, there are a lot of, this problem is a lingering problem for a long time. Now you find out that a marketer that has breached product for a very long time, he submitted his claims. Instead of the Nigerian mainstream and downstream regulatory authority to make payment at when due, but a lot of delays used to come in. And, you find a marketer that can submit a claim expecting his payment but within 1 to 3 months. But it would take him to 1 year or rather 2 years. So, they're like trying to take us out of business, independent marketers. So, and we have been going to the, authority, calling on them. A lot of series of meetings we had, but to no avail. And we see that if we continue like that, I doubt much if there's any serious issue that comes come out. That's why we say, okay, let us give a warning strike, so that probably we can come out to the table and discuss much more better. And that was what happened. We have to thank the NNPC and the management of PPMC for calling us, intervening, and call the Nigerian Mainstream Downstream Regulatory Authority. We come together. We discussed a lot of issues yesterday, and they promised to start effecting payment right from yesterday. From yesterday to Friday, they will try and settle some backlog. And when we see a lot of assurance, and we told them, okay, fine, we will believe their words, but as long as if they didn't fulfill it, we must go back to where we were.
Well, thank you for that. What is the window that you're giving the authorities to fulfill those assurances?
Yeah, that's what I told you. As long as if they didn't fulfill what they have said.
Yeah, by when?
Even though the CEO of Downstream, NNPC, and the Managing Director of PPMC has assured us, and which we believe with their presence at the meeting is an honor. We really appreciate it, and with their weight of, courage that they have assured us that definitely they have intervened, and practically our payment will be effective from yesterday to Friday and after next week. But we say, okay, fine, because we try to let them know that this kind of assurance has always been coming from the Nigerian Mainstream Downstream Regulatory Authority. But for the first time now, hence they have already come in, we must believe in them. And we assure them we're going to call out the strike, which we did in their presence. And we're expecting, probably, if what they said is true, we're waiting. We're still expecting.
So that means if it's not true, then strike continues again. Then what would you probably say is the long-term
Yes,
solution?
of course, we have to go back to drawing board.
Okay, so the drawing board is the strike?
Yes, because if, my friend, if you see a marketer, independent petroleum marketers, you will really pity him. But not every Nigerian is aware of this bottleneck we're having. Lot of problem. Lot of us have even gone out of business. A lot of our marketers.
Tell me what
no
you're
money,
going
no
through,
capital to run. And most of us, about 80% of marketers are running from, they are doing their business with bank money. So, most of us, we borrowed this money. Banks doesn't care about whatever problem you are. It's their interest every day is accruing. So therefore, how do we go about it? Most of us have gone out of business. So our money is there stock at that authority. So the best way, we have gone there several times. We spoke to them. We plead. It is our money. Because that money, it is a contributory money between independent marketers, IPMAN, and DAPMAN. It's not government money. It's our money. It's a contributory money. So why your money, you are just keeping it? Tomorrow you say you need your money, and people will be dilly-dallying about your money. It's not government money. That's the only agency that doesn't wait even for government budgetary allocation. It's our money. So why? You understand? So the pains is all there on us. So that's why we are calling on the Nigerian mainstream downstream regulatory, please to honor that agreement we had yesterday. Please. We are really pleading with them.
Okay, Mr. Suleiman. First, when I was introducing the story earlier on, I said engineer Maikati Baru. I don't know how that got into the script. That must be an error from the producers. But the GMD of NNPC is engineer Mele Kyari. I was shocked myself when I saw the name Baru, who is now of a blessed memory. But let me ask you, the whole issue is about money being owed IPMAN, right? In some accounts, it is 500 billion that is reported. In some other accounts, it's 50 billion. In other accounts, what we're told is that in February, that NNPC had paid about, was it 22.7 billion? What exactly, how much exactly is being owed IPMAN?
Whatever amounts they are calling, or whatever payment the Nigerian Mainstream Downstream Regulatory Authority is claiming that have been paid, is that we need transparency. There are people, whenever NNPC have pushed money into them, to their account, they need to be open in the process of payment, not to be selective. They need to be open so that every sector, catchment area has been catched. There is no marketer grade A or B. We're all members, we're all marketers. So therefore, it has to be transparently distributed. Not that they will just sit down in the office, maybe they will just find their friends or cronies, they'll just pay them and start going to the press, telling the whole world that they are paid in IPMAN. IPMAN, where? If they have paid, are we mad? That every day we'll still sit down by the street crying? We know what we're doing. We know what we're saying. So please, like I've told you, we thank the management of NNPC and the PPMC. We have sat down yesterday with the regulatory authority. We discussed a lot. It was an open discussion. And we really appreciate them. But we are still calling on the Nigerian Ministry Downstream Regulatory Authority, please to maintain that agreement. We have done our part. We've called off the strike. So we need them to make payment as and when due. Please, please.
Yes, you've certainly done your part, and I'm sure people in the northern part of this country will appreciate that because they don't have to be put through fuel scarcity. But I was trying to ask you, what is the window? Because, the federal government and its agencies have not had necessarily the best track record with regards to agreements. We're talking about 50 billion naira. You've said you're giving them this week up until Friday. So let's talk about the exact timeline. If this money is not paid by when? Next Friday, next month, you'll resume the strike? What exactly is the plan? Do you have a contingency plan in case the money is not paid?
Yes, of course, but I want to assure you, with the caliber of people we saw yesterday, like I've told you, the CEO downstream, the managing director of PPMC, we really trusted them. I believe our money will be paid. But of course, yes, it's not an issue of a personal issue. We are representing people. The money is for our people. Therefore, of course, if the agreement has not been reached, as we discussed yesterday, we as members, we are going back to the table. We'll talk, we'll discuss which way forward, whether to go back to the strike, to start the strike, or rather, maybe we can go back to the NNPC because they are our parent. We have to go back and say, okay, fine, sir, this is what we discussed, but the management of the authority have not fulfilled. So if we are going to give you social debt, if they didn't fulfill it, we must go. That's not, we must go. Because there's no way, we must stop if you stay into the business with which money? Our capital are tied down there. That's what I want you to understand. So whether they like it, they're supposed to pay that money. They must pay that money, please.
What would you say to those in the MENA branch that are calling you factional people? Faction. They're saying that you're just a faction trying to make trouble in all of this. So, in fact, they released a statement in the newspaper dailies that they would not join you on the strike, the MENA depot. What do you say to that?
No. I that much maybe, I that much maybe praise, sensationalism, you said it as journalism, but that much if there's any member out of this 21 depot, or rather within the 9 depot we have in the whole northern state that objected with this, nobody. I want to assure Nigerians, I want to assure you, there's nobody that is objecting with this.
Okay, wait a minute. Do you know the chairman, MENA Depot chapter of Independent IPMAN, Alhaji Adamu Erena? He has dissociated his organization from the ongoing Northern Petroleum Marketers 3-day warning strike. Do you know him? Does that name ring a bell?
He's a chairman in MENA Depot, but maybe they must have cut him out of context. But I want to assure you, even yesterday night, he called. I can even show you my phone call logs. Around 10:30, he was appreciating what we have achieved yesterday. So I want to assure you, maybe they must have cut him out of context.
Okay.
But this was 18 hours ago anyway.
Mr. Suleiman, let me ask you. This Petroleum Equalization Fund was scrapped. Well, some people say it wasn't scrapped. The DPR, the Petroleum Equalization Fund, and also
they were merged.
And also the PPPRA, merged and brought under new commission and new authority. But some Nigerians are saying, now that the NNPC is in transition, has become a limited liability company, that this payment of subsidy, is it something that we can really sustain? Because some people are saying, look, the subsidy regime has to go. Whether it's called bridging claims or it's called under recovery, Nigeria cannot sustain it. What do you say to that?
Yeah, we always said to Nigerians and to government, we knew, as the economists are always telling us, that there's no country that can go back, they can go forward, their economy, if they need their economy to move without deregulating the economy, we know. But in the Nigerian context, at the moment, if we said the regulations should come like in a one day, Nigerians, all of us here, we are going to pay the brunt. But we said, okay, fine. We believe and we needed the regulation because it's going to be a free market. It's good for us as marketers. But how about the Nigerians? So we are advising government, like, if they need the regulation, before it, there has to be, they need to provide social service on ground. Schools, hospitals, road, electricity, and other infrastructure facilities should be in place. Housing, you understand? Then before going to a full-blown deregulation. That's why you see government is doing the systematic. You understand? But of course, Nigeria needed to deregulate the economy if it needs, a full development in the country. That's just it.
So that's still going to be the way forward. Social Services Act as buffer and all of that. But when all of that, the free market we all talk about, come into place, then what's going to be the ripple effect as regards stabilization on the economy? Because this is an argument we've never really had.
My friends, well, we, as Nigeria, we have to be always praying for leadership. Nigeria, for a long time, we know we're supposed to deregulate its economy, but because of the leadership issues we're having for a long time, even successive government, that's what bringing this mess. But we pray one day we have good leaders, people that are so patriotic, that they have the country at their heart, and corruption-free. I want to tell you, if we can have it soon, the regulation will be a success.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Yakubu Suleiman, for joining us on The Morning Show.